Hey guys, it's Brooke, and I have made it back from Europe.
With me, I got that pull up straight from Tokyo. You cannot believe it when we come through.
And today I'm just going to be doing a little short haul of all of the stuff that I got while I was on my vacation to England and Scotland this last week. I will be having a vlog up on Saturday, but until then, I just wanted to talk a little bit separately about what I bought. And I feel like I felt like it was more stuff when I was actually swiping my card every 10 minutes. And now that I have it sitting here, I'm like, do I really have enough stuff to make a haul of? I don't know, but I'm going to anyway. And once you see the vlog, it will give more context, because you'll see the place, you'll be like, oh, that's the place where she bought this. That's the place where she bought that. That's why she can't afford to go to college. So the very first thing I got, which you might see, is this necklace, which I got from one of the castles in Scotland, and this necklace is my favorite thing ever. It is so beautiful. Purple is my favorite color, and I just love it, and it's a flower, and it's delicate and pretty, and I really loved it, and I got it from Scotland, so that makes it even more special. And my mom actually got this for me, so that was really nice. Next, I went to the legendary place, which you will see in my vlog, the Cavern Club. And if you do not know what the Cavern Club is, it is the club in Liverpool, England, where the Beatles got their start as artists, and they played at this club all the time. It was where they first got their first recognition. I believe the person who actually scouted them out from their record label discovered them here, but that might be wrong. Fact check me on that one. But it's a big deal, and I got to go there, and I got to take a picture in front of the stage and sit on the edge of the stage and touch the stage, and it was really cool. And I, for literally probably 2 years, have been saying to myself in the back of my mind, hey, you need to get some hats. And then I don't get any hats. Ford had these really cute melodrama hats that had the flower on the front, and then the back of it said melodrama, and I really wanted one of those. I really wanted one of the Harry Styles hats that he had on tour, but I always pick something else. So I was like, hey, I'm getting a hat. And from now on, I'm gonna start wearing hats, because I always go places and I'm like, wow, it's sunny. I wish, and everyone's wearing a hat, and I'm like, wow, why don't I have a hat? Now I do. It just says the Cavern Club, Liverpool, and then this is gonna mess up my hair, which actually looks really good for once. On the back, it says, I love when they have the little stuff right here, when you write something right here, love it. Established 1957, and yeah, that was actually not too long before the Beatles got started there. I think they got started there in 1961, so yeah, but I'm excited about that. And from this day forward, hats. And as most people know about me, and you probably do if you watch my videos, I love Hard Rock Cafe, and this obsession started several years ago, and in my lifetime, I want to visit every single Hard Rock Cafe in the entire world, which is a lot. And I'm buying a shirt from each one, and I also have a thing that I do where I have a charm bracelet that they have charms at every location, and you get one and you put it on there, and I'm doing both. But this trip, I went to the London Hard Rock, which is a huge deal. And that's one of the biggest ones in the world, top 5 ones that you want to go to is London. So that was a huge deal. And I talk about this in my vlog, but I actually got to touch the frets and the strings of Jimmy Page's guitar. That's just a side note. That literally makes me cry. I will insert a photo of that, but literally his guitar that he played. Okay. So I had been saving to get stuff at the London Hard Rock because I knew that was a big deal. And while I was there, I kid you not, I discovered what I think is my favorite Hard Rock shirt that I own, and I have a lot of them. This is my absolute favorite one that I've ever gotten from anywhere. And I try to get different ones because I don't just want the solid white t-shirt from everywhere, because that would be boring, and considering I have probably 10 of them, that would just, if it was all the exact same shirt with different cities on it. There's nothing interesting about that, to me at least. So I think I have one that is like that, and it's from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and that is the only one like that I have. I was kind of considering, I was like, do I want to get one like that from London? Because I was like, that's like a staple to have one from London, because that's a big deal, and like that's kind of a classic thing. So I have the classic Hard Rock design Hard Rock Cafe London, but there's a twist, and this is literally my favorite shirt I've ever gotten from there. You lift it up and it has the London skyline on the bottom of it. Is this not the cutest thing you've ever seen? I love this so much, and this was just such a good souvenir to have, both from London and from the London Hard Rock, and it was classic, but it also gave a good twist to the classic, and I just love it so much. And even though I stress like that I like to get one that isn't the same kind of classic design, I do want to get one every time that has this on it in some way. Like, there are different ones, and they'll like say like Hard Rock this or Hard Rock Atlanta, you know, wherever you are, in a different place on the thing, and they'll be like more like contemporary looking, especially for the women's shirts. And I don't like those as much. Like, I don't mind them. Like, there are so many that are cute, but I have to have one from that like has like the classic logo on it from each city, or I feel like it doesn't count. I know that I'm weird, just let me do my thing. So I got this, but I also found, and this is actually the only one of these that I have, because I always talk myself out of getting the different one and getting the one with the logo. My mom actually picked this one up and came and showed it to me and said, hey, I found a shirt that says Love All, Serve All on it. And Love All, Serve All is Hard Rock Cafe's kind of slogan, tagline, maybe. They have that displayed in a lot of their stores and restaurants, and I actually have a bag from the very first time that I went to a Hard Rock where I like really got into it, in Las Vegas, Nevada, in I think 2014, and the bag, they've changed the bags now where it's like a universal bag that goes to like every city, and you have them. But at the time, they had personalized bags from each city, and they said Hard Rock Cafe Love All, Serve All on there. For some reason, I loved that bag so much that I got from that very first one that I went to. It wasn't the first one I had ever been to, but it was the first one since I was like really like invested in collecting the shirts and stuff. I saved it, and I pulled it out probably 2 years later. I was like, I love this. So I actually cut that square off of the bag that has the logo and says Love All, Serve All, and I have it hanging on my wall in my room. I don't have it where you can see it in the video, but I'll insert a clip or something. But I've always just absolutely loved that slogan. That didn't save the planet or their slogans, but my mom, like, I always post whatever they have in a Hard Rock that says that on there. So she pointed this out, and it does say it at the bottom there at the end, and it says London, and it's a Union Jack, and I just love it. And this is, you know, a women's cut shirt, which is less likely something that I would have, so it's unique and it's different, and it has this kind of racer back look, so it's cute for the summer. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. And another reason why I got the Skyline shirt is because I was gonna get this, and then I was gonna get because I actually found this first. So I was gonna get this, and then I was gonna get the classic like logo shirt that had the Union Jack in the middle. But I was like, no, that's repetitive. I'm gonna get these, and I'm really happy with what I ended up with there. And I got a couple of...
Oh my god!
This man cuts his grass every 2 days. Anyways, okay. There are a couple other little things from Hard Rock in here that will show up eventually as I go through my stuff. And then also while I was in Liverpool, I went to just like a standard Beatles gift shop, and I had to get a Beatles shirt. I wanted a Beatles shirt that said Liverpool so bad, but there was literally one and I didn't like it, so I didn't get it. But I do have my hat, so once again, back to the hat. This shirt is, I know that it's probably something that I could get in the US, but it has the significance to me that I did get it from Liverpool, and I did get it while I was on vacation, and it has this older photo of them from the Hard Day's Night shoot, and it has this different like pop color vinyl design on it, and I really like it, and it's really cute. And also I was really rushed when I was trying to do this, and a guy in a pirate suit tried to steal my purse at this time, so I'm gonna make like an actual story time about that and about something else that occurred while I was there, but a man dressed as a pirate tried to steal my purse. I guess what I mean when I say a man dressed as a pirate tried to steal my purse is that I wasn't super fully focused on what I was buying, but I still like it, so. Oh, we are back to Hard Rock things. I got this tote bag from Hard Rock, and it was one of those things, and like I never do this, but for some reason I did. I guess I was just feeling it since I was in London. When you go up to the counter, and she was like, for only £5 more, you can have this exclusive tote bag, the limited edition. And I was like, girl, yes, give it to me. And actually I really needed it because I had bought so much stuff that day. I wanted to put it in here and carry it around. That's actually why I bought it, but I really like it. And it's nice for being £5, which is like $7 over here. So yeah, it says 1971 on it, which was the year they were established, and it has in metallic Hard Rock Cafe on it, and it has a little leather patch up here that has the logo. And yeah, I really like this, and look at me being all adventurous and carefree with my money. And then while I was in London, I didn't even plan to see this, but I just literally, it was like a gift from God. I just happened to stumble upon the official London Beatles store, and it was decked out, and they had everything. They had better stuff at this place than they had in Liverpool, and in hindsight, I wish that I had actually gotten a shirt from there instead of getting a shirt in Liverpool, but we can blame that on the pirate. I was mesmerized by this store. Like, there are vlog clips. I don't really think there were vlog clips of me freaking out because it was very small and compact and I was trying to keep my composure, but there are vlog clips that I took, like panning around just showing everything, and I absolutely loved that place. I thought that there were gonna be like 10 of those in Liverpool. There weren't, so please work on that. So I was like, I have to get something from here. But I also, like, I had this thing because I had very, limited space when I was bringing stuff back home from Europe because we only brought carry-on suitcases. We didn't check bags. So I really didn't have that much room to, like, just keep buying stuff. So I was trying to keep everything that I bought to, like, a limit. Like, Hard Rock was definitely the place that I bought the most stuff from because I had been, like, anticipating that, and it's easy to, like, roll up the shirts and put them in my suitcase. But I can't sit here and get like huge stuff from the Beatles store. Like, they had a lava lamp that was a rubber sole lava lamp that I wanted so bad, but I was like, there's no way that I can get a rubber sole lava lamp home with me. So what I ended up getting, I love, and it is something that I have wanted since I got my turntable, which is, the full platter turntable, because I had the Crosley before and it doesn't have the full platter, it just has like the 45 on it. But I have wanted a different slip mat for my turntable. And the one my turntable came with just says Victrola, and it's black, and it has lint all over it because I haven't done anything to clean it in 2 years. Here at the London Beatles store, your girl got herself her own slip mat for her record player, and look at it. Is this not the best thing you've ever seen? They had a bunch of different kinds, but I love this design so much with the faces going around, and it's the cover of the Meet the Beatles / the With the Beatles album. This album, which I've always loved the cover art for, but they have it kind of rearranged, and this just looks so cool. I'm gonna put in a video of it spinning too, but when it spins just with the heads, like, I just absolutely love it. And it was a double pack, so it came with a second one, which has the Beatles logo on it. And I really was not thinking this through, but I was going through, like, the poster thing. If anyone knows what those things are called, that the poster's in, that you, like, flip through, please let me know. Because, like, I could really use that word, but I don't know what that word is. So if there's a word for that, let me know. But that thing, and there were so many that I liked, and I have always been obsessed with the gatefold on the inside of the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band vinyl, and they had that in a poster, and so I bought the poster. And I was thinking, oh, you know, this is a poster. This is gonna be, you know, light. It's literally paper. I can just carry this around, like, I can just, like, I don't know what I was thinking, but in my head, I was just like, oh, this is paper. This is gonna be fun. And I thought that going this way, it was gonna fit in my suitcase, but it didn't. And so I carried this thing and I got this, like, the second day we were there. I carried this all over Scotland. Anytime we would go anywhere, I had my Sgt. Pepper poster with me, and it's in a little bit of not as good of shape as it could be. It's gotten a little bent here at the end, but you know, it's been with me through it. At one point, I'm not even gonna lie, I considered throwing it away because I was so annoyed with it, but I was like, no, you got this from the London Beatles store, you love this, you've always wanted this, you're getting this, and you're putting it on your wall. So I did. This is a picture. I know it's large, and there are also little pins in it because the thing got messed up. Yes, overall I am happy that I got this and that I stuck with it, even though I almost betrayed it a couple of times. I know that was probably an absolutely terrible visual of the picture that's on the poster, so here it is to show you what is actually on the poster. And also from this shop I got 3 pins, and they're not technically pins, they're buttons, because buttons are cheaper. And the first one says Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and it has this cool kind of color scheme of blue and purple and green. And so I got that. I swear I'm gonna do a jean jacket video at some point. I got another one, which has like the other set of kind of psychedelic colors. I don't know, I love it. But it says Rubber Soul, which I love. As you probably know, George Harrison is my favorite Beatle and one of my favorite people ever, so I just got this little George pin, and I'm so excited to put this little George on my jacket. Back to things from Hard Rock, this is my charm that I got, and let me just tell you, they mark these things up in London. This was 7.45 pounds. These only cost $7 in the United States at a Hard Rock, and I know that 7.45 pounds is more than $8 in the US, okay? Okay, overcharge. But did I still buy it? Yes. This was the only one they had, so I feel like it was kind of meant for me. I mean, I probably could have asked, they probably had more in the back, but this was the only one that they like had out, and I was almost disappointed because I wanted to get a couple more of these for my friends, but this was the only one they had, so it was kind of meant to be that I got this even though they overcharged. Then while I was in Liverpool, from the same gift shop where I got the Beatles t-shirt, my grandmother had had an MO the whole time I was in Europe, that when I went to Liverpool, because we had planned to go to Liverpool, I had to bring back something for her pastor, who is a huge Beatles fan. And her pastor, I mean, I consider him my pastor too, because I go to her church a lot. He has been there my entire life, and I grew up going to that church, and so he's like part of our family, and he is a huge Beatles fan, which I kind of love, because there's the whole stigma around rock music, like not going with Christianity, and like my preacher loves the Beatles. And then the preacher at the other church that I go to with my mom, he loves Journey. So, but my grandmother was on this MO. She was like, you have to get Charles, which is his name, something from Liverpool that's the Beatles. And I was so focused on that, like I was more focused on finding him something than I was finding myself something. What I found is actually the same photo, so I could have just shown you this and gone to a lot less trouble, but it's the same photo on a magnet that says Sgt. Pepper's Beatles on it, and it says from Liverpool to the world on it. Okay, is this not a perfect souvenir for someone to bring you from Liverpool? Because I am dang proud of this thing. And also the little package says with love from Liverpool. Like, I am so excited about this. I'm gonna go to church next week just to give this to him. Then we went to the Sherlock Holmes Museum, which my mom loves. She loves both classic Sherlock Holmes and Sherlock the Show. And this was one of the main things that my mom wanted to do. It was her birthday trip, this trip to Europe, and actually you'll see stuff on her birthday in the vlog when I do post it. We went to the Sherlock Holmes Museum, which was actually next door to the London Beatles store, and that was how I found the Beatles store, just by chance. Gift from God. And maybe that's like a thing, like because of my pastor and like the Lord and the Beatles. So while I was there, I bought a souvenir for someone else, and it was a bookmark, and it was £4, and they said, well, we can't run your card unless you spend £5. So I picked this up, this postcard of Sherlock Holmes, which I love. And I actually hadn't been in the museum yet when I bought this, but it's Sherlock Holmes sitting in his study, which is obviously a classic literary thing. I love Sherlock Holmes. I read all of the books, the like abridged versions, when I was in elementary school. I need to go back through and read them again, like the full versions, which I know are more intense. I read like the kid versions, so like there probably was less like murder and stuff in them. This is like a classic thing, is him sitting in his study. And when we went in, they had the exact replica of this study in the museum, which was awesome. And it meant more afterwards. So I actually have a couple of postcards like this that I've bought for myself that I've just kept from places that are on my wall. So I'm just gonna add this to it. And also, this has nothing to do with Sherlock Holmes, but at that same store, me and my brother and sister all got these little music boxes, and the one that I got, they had them that played classical music, but of course I got the one that played Love Me Tender by Elvis, because it is so, so beautiful. I felt like Mona off Pretty Little Liars when I was doing that, because she's always like sitting in some kind of like creepy dollhouse situation going. And so that's what I felt like. I felt like that was creepy. I feel like I need to like make some kind of Halloween video and like spin that in it, because I felt like that was really creepy, but I just wanted you to hear how pretty that is. Also, when I went to Buckingham Palace, I got another postcard for myself of Harry and Meghan, because first of all, I freaking love Harry and Meghan, and I've always had an obsession with the royal monarchy. And like, I know this is like a stupid thing to debate on whether I was gonna get or not, but I had a whole debate on whether or not I was gonna get this with myself in the Royal Palace gift shop, because I was like, you really need this. But like, first of all, I love them and I want them on my wall with my other postcards. And second of all, I was like, this is a cool, like, subtle thing to have from the palace in London. Like, I know, like, it doesn't seem like a huge deal now. I could literally go print this exact same photo of Meghan and Harry off of the computer, but, like, this has all the stuff on it on the back about it coming from the palace, and I'm like, I have to put this in perspective of how I'm gonna see this later being a souvenir, because if someone who I knew had from 30 years ago a postcard of Princess Diana and Prince Charles from their wedding that they bought at Buckingham Palace, I would be like, that is the best thing I've ever seen. So one day I'm gonna have this and my kids are gonna be like, wow, that's cool. So, and I think it's cool, even if they don't. But if they're my kids, they'll think it's cool. And finally, I went to a record shop. And this was not something that I had well planned. I knew I wasn't gonna have time to go to a record store while I was in London. Tried to find one in Scotland, but the areas of Scotland that we were in for the certain amount of times, it didn't really work. There just wasn't a good time or place for me to do that while we were in Scotland. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go vinyl shopping in Liverpool. That was our last main day there, and Liverpool just seemed like a good place to go shopping for records because the Beatles. And so I researched it, and there were several record stores that I looked at, and the one that seemed to have like the best like range of stuff and the best rating was called Dig Vinyl. And I like sent my mom the address. I was like, I want to go here. I didn't actually know where it was in Liverpool because we were in like main downtown Liverpool doing tour stuff. And my mom had just been like, okay, well, I'll just drive you to this record store after we do the tourist stuff in Liverpool. And we were literally just walking down the street to go to lunch because we already had a place picked out. We were going to eat lunch in Liverpool, and we were just like walking down the strip, and I was just like, hey, that's it. The way that these little record stores were, I guess it's really hard to get a storefront in a big place like that. Not a big place because it actually is a small place, but a small place that has a big, a lot of people coming to it, like a small place that has a big attraction in it like that. It's hard to get a storefront. So there were 2 different record stores, this one and another one, and they didn't actually have the storefront. They put their store in the basement of a different store, and the store that this was in was basically like a Hot Topic. They had like band tees and like, but it was like Hot Topic like up a level. Like they did tattoos and piercings there, and like all kinds of stuff was going on. I didn't get to look around in there, or I probably would have spent some more money on some band stuff. But I went down to the basement, and I just kind of love that idea of there being the little like basement hideaway record stores in the bottom of the other stores. Like, I just love that. And I had gone in saying that I wanted, while I was there, to get the blue pressing of Badlands by Halsey on vinyl, because the blue pressing is the standard pressing in the UK and you can't get it in America. And if you have seen my other things where I talk about this, I'm trying to get every pressing of every Halsey album on vinyl, and so I was like, that's gonna be like a good souvenir from England, is to get the England pressing just from a normal record store and then bring it home, and I'll have it for the collection, but it's also like a thing from England. And then I was like, okay, I might get 1 or 2 other things, but like I don't want it to be excessive because I have to get it home in a carry-on, and I didn't want to spend tons of money on that when there were other things unique to England. And overall, I just didn't want to buy a lot of stuff from there that I could get at home if it didn't have some meaning. So I limited myself. I said, okay, you can only get the Halsey album, and you can only get something that is by a British band or artist. That way it's somewhat sentimental. And so I went, I looked through every 12-inch vinyl in the store. It was not a huge store. They did not have the Halsey vinyl, which is okay. So I actually did not end up with that. I'm probably gonna order it online, which is kind of sad. I was like, okay, stick to your guns. And they had very little Beatles stuff. I'm assuming that they did, but it just like got sold out easily. And the things that they did have were like solo stuff. Like, they didn't have any of the actual Beatles albums, because I totally would have gotten a Beatles album that I didn't have and brought it and been like really happy with it, but didn't have that. So what I ended up finding when I was digging at Dig Vinyl was this 12-inch single of Tainted Love by Soft Cell. And if you don't know this song, you probably do. You probably just don't realize that you know it. And it is a classic, and it is by a British group, Soft Cell, and this was on a Europe pop rock playlist that I had been listening to the entire time I was on this trip. So I was like, heck yeah, I'm totally getting this. It was £5, and I was really excited about it. And I got it, and then I was like, okay, this is good. This is good. And also that song is just kind of sentimental to me because my mom played it a lot when I was growing up, and I still like it. There's also like this really cool, like, for some kind of like fashion brand commercial that has like Cara Delevingne in it where it plays that song, and I've always just like wanted to be in that commercial. So then I was going through the 7 inches, and he had a whole thing of probably 1,000 7 inches that were only £1, and I did not have time to go through that. I said I went through all the 12-inch, which I did, but I did not have time to go through the £1 thing. But he had another section that were £3, and so I went through those because I was like, okay, well, if there are bigger artists, they're more than likely going to be in the £3 one as opposed to the £1 one. So I was just trying to find like a key thing, and I found Layla by Derek and the Dominoes, which was one of Eric Clapton's bands. Okay, I'm gonna get this because I had my eye out for a Clapton record, but the only other thing that they had was a 12-inch of Slow Hand, and I already have that. Thanks, Marican. And so I picked up this 7-inch of what I thought was Layla by Derek and the Dominoes. And I took it to the counter, and I really, really think with all my heart that I did in fact take Layla to the counter, because I looked down right before I walked up to the counter and I had it in my hand. So I think something might have happened where when the guy took it behind the counter to scan it, I just scanned it, or he probably just typed it in because I had like the little price labels on them. And then he handed me a different one that he had behind the counter on accident. Because what I ended up with is not Layla by Derek at the Domino's, and I did not realize this until I got to the hotel that night. But this is good old Jilted John, who I've never heard of. If any of you know who Jilted John is, please comment and let me know. I haven't listened to this yet because I'm still a little bit upset that it's not Layla. From what I could hear, I think he may have actually been British, so I guess that does stick to my guidelines. But I was kind of irritated that I spent £3 on this and it didn't end up being the thing that I thought I was getting. And like, also when I pulled this out, I was like, what on earth? Because this song is entitled I Was a Prepubescent. Anyway, so that's how that went. But I really liked the guy who was running it. I assume that he owned it because, once again, it was very small, and he also had like a whole shelf in the back that was like his personal collection of vinyl. I know this because I walked back there and started going through them because they weren't really separated from all the other things, and so I thought that they were on sale. And he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm looking at these, like, those are my personal ones. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I goofed up and did that, and that's how I knew. So like, it seemed like that was his store, and he was very proud of it. And so I do recommend that store because it was really cool. And if it did get mixed up, it was just a misunderstanding, and it very well could have been my fault. But yeah. And also he gave me a sticker, which I can't find now. And I was like, how much are these stickers? And he was like, they're free. And I was like, I love you. I don't even know where my sticker went, but it's called Dig Vinyl. If you are ever in Liverpool, here's the information. And he also gave me this cute little thing that has the record on it, and it has all these little genres on it. And like, I think that I'm gonna like tape this to my record carrier thing because I love this so much I don't want to throw it away. And I had a sticker, which I'm still gonna find. It's probably stuck in the Layla 7-inch. Anyways, guys, those were all of the things that I bought in England. Thank you for watching this. I am really grateful that I got to go on this trip, and I'm really grateful that I'm somehow not in debt after this trip, somehow. I actually, like, I checked my bank account today, and I legitimately thought that I was going to have less than $10 in my bank account. And I looked at my sister and I said, this is going to be less than $10. I looked at my bank account, I had $42. And you know how proud of myself I was. Very proud. Anyways, guys, I will be linking my most recent videos, the 3 most recent, and I will be posting my vlog from England and Scotland on Saturday, so please keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm really excited about it. And I will also be linking the video that I did about the Undrtone case, which is something that I'm really passionate about. If you're following me on Twitter, I tweet about it all the time. This is my Twitter. If you're gonna watch any other video of mine, please watch that one. I explain it more in the description, and I leave a link to my video and Kendall Ray's video on it. Please check that out. #JusticeForAlyssa. Yeah, guys, thank you. I will see you on Saturday. All my links will be in the description. Bye.